What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. In this one, I'm going to be talking about not just fat loss, which has been considered the holy grail for so long, but I'm going to explain why that's not all it's cracked up to be. And we're going to talk a lot about body recomposition, what it is, how it works, and how you can do it. Let's dive in. So what exactly is body recomposition, and why would I think that that's more important than going through a fat loss phase for a lot of people? Now, some may need to lose a lot of weight, and that's going to be in a specific deficit. But a lot of you who are already health conscious and looking to lose what might seem like a minimal amount of pounds, it's not going to look as different as you think it is when you're talking about losing 5, losing 10 pounds. It doesn't really change the dynamic of your body. You just weigh a little bit less as far as what the scale is showing. So this is where body recomposition can be a really powerful tool that most people are not utilizing. So what is it? It's the process of losing fat and building muscle at the same time. So rather than focusing specifically on losing fat or building muscle, we're focusing specifically on improving your body composition. That's body recomposition. Now, can you do those two things at the same time? Yes, if you do them in the right strategic way. But let's circle back to why fat loss can be a problem, or fat loss, I would say specifically weight loss for a lot of people. Those who need to lose a lot of weight or just want to see themselves in a more toned, a more lean, a more jacked version, if we're focusing primarily on just a lower number on the scale, what's going to happen is, yes, we may lose fat if we are successful in that deficit. But a lot of times that also comes with losing a significant amount of muscle. So while the number goes down, while you may be losing fat, you don't look any more quote unquote in shape. You actually just look like a smaller version of yourself. It's just smaller proportions of the same visual, the same aesthetic look. So that is why I place a higher emphasis on body recomposition for a lot of situations. For those who don't need to lose 30, 40, 50 pounds, those who think they need to lose 5, 10, 15, body recomposition is probably way more up your alley. So let's break down a few reasons why body recomposition can be a much better path than focusing specifically on fat loss. And the first reason is that you're going to look better. And let's not pretend this doesn't matter. That's why a lot of us are drawn to that fat loss phase. But this is going to deliver the result we were looking for from that fat loss journey, and instead give us a better ROI. So a higher return on our investment, because we're doing things with a different path in mind, same outcome. By focusing on retaining muscle mass while we lose fat, we're actually going to see that visual change we were looking for from that fat loss phase. So for those of you who are in that range, again, who want to lose 5, 10, 15 pounds, this is going to deliver a better result as far as how you look throughout the process. Number 2, we can consider this a healthier route. We can consider this a healthier method for obtaining the objective we were looking for. Now, going back to the extreme example, for those of you who may have just gone into a more significant, a more severe calorie deficit, we are losing that muscle again, but we're also not maintaining nutrient levels. If we're slashing calories much lower than they need to be, slashing them a lot farther than we should, we are compromising not just muscle mass, but overall health. So being able to keep calories higher, being able to balance our macronutrients better, again, allows for the point we drove home just now, but it's also going to keep us in a healthier state, which is going to allow us to feel better. It's going to allow us to continue to thrive and stay in this phase longer as far as being consistent, because we're feeling good and because we're moving forward in a lot of different areas. Number 3, you're going to feel stronger and more capable, because you're going to be stronger and more capable by keeping calories higher, by keeping protein levels up, by keeping carbs and fats balanced. We are going to be able to perform better in the gym. So we're not going to be tired and hungry and sluggish and weighed down for months on end trying to lose that last 5 pounds. And even if we get there, still not being happy with how we look. So we continue that further. We're going to be feeling good. We're going to be thriving, because overall caloric intake, the food we're eating, hopefully it's nutrient dense, but we're able to eat more of that. And that is going to allow us to be much stronger and feel much better throughout the entire process. And you can extend that for as long as you want. There's no limit on eating at maintenance calories. We want to limit the amount of time we're in a deficit to avoid, those plateaus, and to allow our bodies to kind of recalibrate and rejuvenate after a period of being in a suppressed state of calories. And then to piggyback off that point, it is just more sustainable. Again, we can do this for as long as we want. In this gaintaining phase, what I like to call it, you can do this for life. You can focus on eating whole foods, nutrient-dense foods, limiting the processed stuff, getting stronger in the gym, and maintaining weight. Those are the key checkpoints, and we'll talk about this a bit further here in a minute. But those are the key checkpoints we want to hit to make sure that we aren't sacrificing muscle. We are improving body composition. That's the point. This is a body recomposition phase. But we're doing so by being very cognizant, very mindful of what goes into our bodies, eating at maintenance calories or slightly below that. It's very slightly, not enough to see a significant drop in the scale, and getting stronger in the gym. That is key. Performance is key. We need to see that improvement there in order for body recomposition to work. So let's dive into that for a minute. Body recomposition, how exactly do we do it? The first thing we want to think about is eating for performance, not deprivation. So in this process, body recomposition, in this type of journey, I highly, highly, highly recommend you do a food audit of what you're consuming. We talk about this a lot. Anything in moderation is fine. If we're enjoying the sweet stuff, the higher processed stuff, more highly processed stuff in moderation, that's okay. It's not going to set you back significantly. The problem is most people don't understand what moderation actually is. It's not having a small bowl of ice cream every single night instead of the larger bowl of ice cream. It's saving those sweet treats for special occasions or much more infrequent occasions. So whether it's, once on the weekend, we enjoy the bowl of ice cream with the family or pizza night or whatever it is. When you aren't in a caloric deficit, the margins for error are smaller, and it is much easier to put yourself into a surplus very quickly. Once we enter that surplus, we're going to start storing fat again. It's going to be great for performance, but we're going to start storing some levels of fat again. And we want to be more aware of that when we're focusing primarily on a body recomposition phase. So when we're at maintenance or in that slight deficit. So that's a lot easier to do. And most of what we're consuming is whole foods, nutrient dense options. On top of just understanding, we're going to feel way better when that happens. We're going to retain less water. We're going to look leaner as we go throughout. It's just something you really want to be aware of. Again, everything is fine in moderation. I'm not going to demonize sugar and the processed foods. But when it comes to your health and when it comes to reaching these goals, you do have to understand what true moderation actually is. So circling back to the first point, eating for performance. So getting enough food in, getting enough protein in, balancing out the carbs and fats at a ratio that you feel really good with. That's going to be individual for everybody. Some prefer slightly more fat, some prefer slightly more carbs. You can trial and error this, scale fats up for a couple weeks, drop those down, scale carbs up for a couple weeks, see what allows you to feel better and perform your best. But those are the things we're looking for when we're talking about eating for performance versus deprivation in a caloric deficit. Second point, we touched on this a couple times, but strength train like you mean it. You need to crush it in the gym. You have to be seeing progress in the gym for this to work. If you're maintaining strength, if you're lollygagging, if you're taking some extra time off and you may be losing strength, you're just not taking it seriously, you're not going to notice the benefits of a body recomposition phase. This type of phase, this type of journey is great in a lot of ways, but in a way, it also requires you to be more consistent because, again, the margins for error are a lot smaller on the nutritional side as well as the performance side. So the key here is making sure we're getting stronger, making sure that you're following a program that allows for progressive overload. So what does that mean? It means we're not doing Instagram swipe through workouts. We're not seeing something fun that we saw on Instagram that day and running to the gym with it. We're following a program, a strength training program, for a minimum of 4 weeks. That's the minimum amount of time that it's going to take to stimulate a response from your body and stimulate that muscle growth. That could be anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, and different acute variables could change within each block. But a minimum of 4 weeks doing the same exercise routine week over week to allow for that progression. Rep ranges, it really depends. You could be doing, to give you the full range, it could be anywhere from 4 reps to 30 reps. The issue is you need to be close to failure. And most people, again, don't understand what true moderation is with eating. When it comes to performance and training at a high intensity, most people don't understand what actual failure, true failure means. So that means you could not do another rep with good form if your life depended on it. Now, to see progress, to see progressive overload, to see improvements in strength and in muscle, the most efficient range is to be 1 to 4 reps short of true failure at each set. Now, that doesn't mean when it starts getting hard, especially on a set of squats, it starts getting hard and you might think, oh, this is an 8. I can probably do 2 more reps. In actuality, a lot of times you could bang out another 5, another 6 really, really hard reps. And we don't think about that. We don't think about going to true failure, especially if you haven't had a spotter in a very long time. So you got to be honest with yourself. If you can't get a spotter, put up the spotter racks. Take a set to true failure once so you know what that actually feels like. Grind it out. and scale it back. Ideally, you want to be 1 rep short of that. That's a great range to be in, depending on where your volume is. I'll talk about volume in another video. We have a bunch of podcasts on it. We've been talking about scaling volume back and going to a higher intensity and been seeing great results with that. But general overview for this video, the purposes of this video, 1 to 4 reps short of failure on each set and seeing progress over time. So week over week, month over month, you're getting stronger across all lifts. Absolutely critical when it comes to body recomposition. And number 3, be patient. And I know that's frustrating and I know it sucks, but again, being that this may be a double-edged sword depending how you look at it, we have to be more consistent when it comes to body recomposition. You need to be consistent with all of them. So maybe that's not fair to say. Any phase, you do need to be consistent to see progress. But again, going back to the margins for error are smaller here. So you need to be consistent. You need to really evaluate your diet and give yourself true feedback. Did I do well this week? Did I not do well? Was I consistent with tracking? If you are tracking, am I eating intuitively? What types of foods am I eating? Am I prioritizing whole food, nutrient dense options? Did I mix in a little more of the sweet stuff than I needed to this week? Get those things in check. Crush your workouts. You're going to notice if you are consistent with that in those 2 areas, prioritizing whole foods and going hard and seeing progress in the gym, in a month, you're going to notice a huge difference. Even if the scale doesn't change a pound, you will notice a difference in how you feel. You're going to notice a difference in how you look. And you're going to certainly notice a difference in how you're performing in all areas of life. So you have to be patient. You can be in this phase for a year. Now, okay, I'm in this phase for a year. I saw some decent progress. What if I just cut? Here's what happens in those bulk cut scenarios. We want to lose some fat. We're getting a little too fluffy, for lack of a better term. So we do a cut. Maybe it's a mini cut. Maybe it's a longer term cut. 3 months, we drop 5, 10, 15 pounds, whatever it is. Now we think we're a little bit too small. So we go back into a bulk and we try to put muscle on. And then we put some muscle on. We get stronger again. But you know what? We're back to feeling a little too fluffy. So it's cut, bulk, cut, bulk, cut, bulk, cut, bulk. And if you're not doing it very, very well strategically and very consistently, you're going to end up very close to where you started 6 months ago, 9 months ago, a year ago. So being cognizant of that, understanding the 2 scenarios, a body recomposition phase or journey or just your lifestyle can become that. It can become your lifestyle. It can become your way of living. You're going to eat well. You're going to train hard. And you're going to see progress over time without needing to put a deadline on it. This is just the way that you behave. These are your daily habits. These are the things you do that allow you to thrive. So we need to be patient. The progress is going to show. It's just going to take some time. Bottom line, guys, the body recomposition phase is going to be smart. It's going to be sustainable, and it's going to be a healthy way for you to achieve your ultimate physique, to reach your ultimate performance levels. And I know this is a phase a lot of you may not have been familiar with at all, or just weren't sure exactly what it was. So I wanted to break it down in this video. This is something I'm actually doing now. I've been doing it for the past 6 months or so. I feel great. Energy levels are high. I'm performing well in the gym. I'm really happy with how body composition has improved over this time, and it's getting me out of that cut bulk cycle. So wanted to share that with you guys. If you appreciated this video, if you've been enjoying the content, please take a minute to just hit the like button, subscribe. It helps me with algorithm, helps the channel grow, and allows us to reach more people who can benefit from it and start changing their lives for the better. Thank you for being here, and we will catch you in the next one.